Morning guys, how are we doing? Quick sun check, just to inspire some of you that haven't seen the sunrise yet. And then we'll go into some fitness tips if you are currently not the best version of yourself, and how we can build up your strength and your fitness. And I'll go through that with you once I've shown you this amazing view. Okay, here we go. Absolutely blinding. All right, so if you're currently a man who is only running with his cup half full, morning Andy, somebody that has not currently been the best version of themselves, somebody that is stuck in a rut, someone that has just been procrastinating over and over again with their fitness and is struggling with their fitness. So when I say struggling, I mean struggling for energy levels, struggling for fitness levels to get through the day. When you come home, you're very lethargic, very tired, very tough. It's very difficult to play with the kids. You know, they want to play football or go in the garden, and you're just exhausted and all you want to do is sit down. You might have a lack of core strength. You might have a lack of sort of upper body strength. Getting up the stairs is probably quite fatiguing. Maybe you haven't done fitness for a long time. So this would be almost for you. And this video is really just about how we can suddenly go from being in the trenches to then being up top fighting fit. Now for me personally, and I'm sure millions of other PTs will tell you something different, I don't feel there's any point in you going straight into lifting weights and throwing weights around immediately, simply because you haven't necessarily got your own body weight strength squared away. You haven't got a good foundation layer of fitness. You know, something simple as holding your own body weight, something simple as learning to squat again and getting that functional movement. I don't necessarily feel that a lot of guys who currently are stuck in a rut and aren't the best version of themselves probably have the mobility or flexibility as well. So where do we start? So I'm a big believer in sort of own body weight movements, home workouts, doing own body weight routines, and doing that over a period of time. And what this allows you to do is learn to move within a functional movement and functional way. So looking at those squats, looking at getting down and getting back up again. A lot of guys struggle because they have sore knees or sore backs, but where they've maybe neglected themselves for a while. Maybe it's an old injury, maybe it's just a bit of excess weight that we're trying to carry. So what we have to do is we have to learn to move again. And that can start simply with walking, swimming, cycling, those type of things. And those type of things, as well as functional HIIT type of workouts, I think for me are a really good place to start. And if you look at breaking down some of the movements, you know that you can break them down for beginners. You can bring it right back and regress those movements. And what we can end up doing is doing that over a period of time. And over that period of time, let's say of 21 to 28 days, once you've been doing it, your body then becomes a lot more accustomed to squatting, to press upping. You know, I wouldn't ever suggest doing press ups off your knees for the first 4 weeks if you haven't done anything for a while, because you're not going to go all the way to the ground. You know, you're going to end up injuring yourself, and then you're going to feel demotivated because you can't do a full press up. What I would be suggesting is doing your press ups on your knees, you know, and just doing half of the press ups and building up, learning to hold your own body weight with press ups and planks, just being able to sustain that. And once you've done 28 days to 6 weeks, so 4 to 6 weeks of this, you know, including mobility, warm-ups, cool downs, you're going to feel a lot better. Your energy levels are going to come right up. You know, your fitness levels are going to come right up. You are naturally going to lose some body fat as well along the way. You know, and once you've got to that point, then I think you can start introducing kettlebells, dumbbells, barbells, and start thinking about maybe doing something else and adding some resistance. But I think unless you get to that point where you can hold your own body weight, you can start doing press ups again, you can learn to squat again, I would just like maybe steer clear of the weights and side of things, just until you've built up that foundation, that bottom layer. And I think the key thing to remember with this as well is patience. You know, if you have been out of the game for a while, you know, the first couple of weeks are going to be sore because your muscles and your legs and your arms and your upper bodies are not used to throwing yourselves around, going down, getting back up. So we have to build up, we have to let our muscles adapt again to new movements that we haven't done in a while. We have to build up that strength, that we have to build up that conditioning, and then we are ready to go maybe with some other things. What I tend to do is, with my 6-week program, it's a 6 weeks worth of own body weight routines, and there's stuff that I used to do when I was in the Marines. So when we was in the Marines, and don't think, oh my God, I'm not training to be a Marine, all right? But what we did with our recruits in the very foundation level of the Marines is to put them through a 9-week program. And in that 9-week program is very much about cardio, getting a basic of fitness weighed up before they went to bottom field. Now when we go to bottom field, we start running around with webbing, we start running around with rifles, climbing up bloody ropes with webbing on and 21 pounds of kit and your rifle, so like nearly 30 pounds of kit, running across the assault course. But would they be able to do that? Would they be able to run across bottom field, climb up a rope with kit on, if they couldn't do it without kit in the gym? If they didn't do all of that basic cardio and all of that up morning babies, and you basically couldn't put all of that together, there's no way you could go straight to that bottom field and then on to the commando tests, which are arduous. They are like brutal unless you build up a layer, and everything is a progression. Everything is a progression from the minute you start to the end state. So we start slow, we start steady, and we progress. That fitness level starts coming up and up and up and up, and we then start adding more and more and more and more. Instead of throwing yourself in at the deep end, injuring yourself, becoming demotivated and stopping again, you must build up that very basic layer of fitness first, then introduce the weights, then introduce the challenges. You wouldn't just dive straight into an ultra 50 miler when you've only done a couple of weeks worth of work, would you? All right, so when it comes to your fitness and your conditioning, that's what we're looking at. Look at the very basic levels of own body weight, conditioning, mobility and flexibility for 4 to 6 weeks, then look at progressing. Right, Daniel, morning, hope you're well. Jemima and my lovely little Albert, I love you guys. I'm going to phone you in a minute. Rich, good to hear from you, dude. Andy, good to hear from you. I hope you all have a great day, great Wednesday, hump day, as they say. Kind of getting over that hump, ready for the week. You know, you're only working 4 days this week, well, most of you. But anyway, whatever you're doing, I hope you have a great time. I hope you managed to benefit from some of the video that I put up here. Just remember, keep it super basic to start with and then build that fitness level. All right, catch you real soon.